Hello, guys. How are you? This is Criptex. I hope my sound is good. Today, we're gonna do a tier list about horror movies. Last time, we did one about serial killing movies. Some of the movies are gonna be repeated here. I'm not an expert in the horror category, let's say, so you're gonna help me here, guys. At the same time, we can talk about the case, about Delphi. So, welcome in. Hey, hello, Zero Cool. How are you? I'm gonna drop also the link if you want to call, guys. Maybe we can do this together. So, give me just 1 second. What's up, Zero Cool? Thank you, man. You are always here. I'm glad for that. Actually, Zero Cool is really cool. So let's start with the first. Before starting, I have three categories. I have masterpiece, classic, and interesting. I didn't put a category for bad movies. Actually, all of the movies we have here are very good movies. And maybe we're gonna do another streaming or another live with bad movies, but these ones are really good. So you're gonna help me here, guys. So I'm gonna start with the prophecy. I love this movie. The prophecy is about angels. We have Christopher Walken. We have Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen was Lucifer in this movie. I just love this thematic, the angels, um, like demons versus good angels, let's say. And that Lucifer that was Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen was awesome. So I'm gonna put this movie here in the classic category. I'm not gonna call it a masterpiece, but just a classic, let's say. Then we have the Devil Rejects. I love this movie. I'm gonna put it here in interesting movie. I'm not gonna say it's a classic or a masterpiece. I'm just a nerd about Rob Zombie. I love Rob Zombie. I'm glad he was not only making music. I love his music too, but I love the aesthetics of his movies. In the Devil's Rejects, we have that character, the Captain Spaulding, a crazy killer. I just love Rob Zombie. This was like a family of serial killers. It's kind of attributes to the Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Massacre, that movie. So I just love Rob Zombies. I'm a little bit of a nerd about that. Now we have Halloween. What do you think? Of course, we're gonna put Halloween here in the masterpiece category. We have the famous killer Michael Myers. The filmmaker was John Carpenter. I have trouble. I mixed Wes Craven, John Carpenter, and David Cronenberg. So I have just a paper here to not to do a stupid statement. But Halloween, of course, is is a masterpiece. I'm not gonna talk about Halloween 2, 3, 4, 5. Every movie here is like the first one. If I have, let's say, Scream, it's Scream 1. I'm not gonna talk about Scream 2, 3, 4, 5 now. So far we have one film for each category: Halloween, masterpiece; The Prophecy, classic; and The Devil Rejects, interesting. We can change during the streaming, guys. If you have any idea, any question, any suggestion, recommendation. Now we have here Spit on Your Grave. This is like an exploitation movie of the 70s. It's a little bit disturbing. This was about a girl that was raped, and she survived. And then you have the whole revenge thematic. I'm gonna put it in. I think it's a classic of the horror cinematography, let's say. So I'm gonna put that movie in that category. And if you have recommendations or suggestions, guys, I can add some movies here for sure. I'm not a great expert about this type of movies, but just a little bit of a nerd. Now we have The Devil Advocate. Of course, we have Al Pacino. We have Keanu Reeves. I love that movie. I think it's a masterpiece. Or maybe I'm being a little bit exaggerated here. I don't know, guys. What do you think? It's a masterpiece or it's a classic? Let's say a classic, but it's I enjoyed that movie so much. Al Pacino is one of the best. Keanu Reeves, I love him. The Devil Advocate, so I'm gonna put it here in the classic category. And remember to help me, guys, because this needs to be a little bit dynamic. So I need your help here with the ranking, guys. Now we have The Fly. The Fly. This was David Cronenberg, the filmmaker. I think it's gonna be a classic. I'm gonna put it here in the classic category. And remember that this was about an experiment where there was it was like a DNA experiment where fly was mixed with the human DNA, and then you have that creature. The fly is, I think, is gonna be here in the category of classics, let's say. Now we have Scream. I think we have to give some credit to this movie. We enjoy it. Of course, it's not a masterpiece. I think it's more than interesting. So I'm gonna put Scream here in the classic line. We can change it after if you have different opinions. Again, we have Wes Craven here for sure. Now I'm gonna take advantage of this movie. Is the most dangerous game. I'm gonna put it in the interesting category. I'm gonna do a link here with the Delphi murders. I think that there are a lot of similarities when we think about Tony Klein. We have the whole thing about human hunting. I think Tony Klein was a human hunter, let's say. And remember that when we talk about the Zodiac Killer, that killer was inspired by this book. But at the beginning, it was a book, The Most Dangerous Game. Then we have the movie. So yeah, I'm gonna put it here in the interesting line, let's say. Now we have Alien, masterpiece, of course. I think we don't have too much to say about that. Maybe it's gonna stay here, just next to the legend here. To me, is the best horror movie ever made. It's a mix between science fiction and horror. I think we can put it as the first. I'm just biased. I love Alien, and I think it's the number one here. So I'm gonna put Alien in the masterpiece category, and just next to the legend, meaning is the best one, just in my opinion. We have this saga. I think we enjoyed that franchise, let's say. But it's not could be a classic of the horror. I'm gonna put it here in the classic line. The The sequels were kind of random. Some sequels were awesome. Some sequels were bad. I think there are 10 of them. The first one was really good, and yeah, I'm gonna put it here in classic. So remember to participate, guys, in the chat, or even if you want to call, you have the link here. Now we have, I love this movie, The Ninth Gate with Johnny Depp. It's just because I love it. I'm gonna include that movie here in the list. I think it's gonna be in the category of interesting. I don't think it's gonna be a classic or a masterpiece, but I just love this movie, and I like Johnny Depp. The Shining. Zero Cool is saying that The Shining, of course, The Shining is coming. Don't worry about that, and for sure it's gonna be in the masterpiece line, I think. So, yeah, thank you, Zero Cool, for sure. We're gonna have that movie here in the tier list. Suspiria. What do you think about Suspiria, Zero Cool? Suspiria is it's a classic. The filmmaker was this guy Dario Argento, Italian filmmaker. This movie is really old, and there's a sequel right now in Hollywood, but not right now, but like a couple of years ago. I didn't watch the sequel, but the original movie was about it was like this ballet academy, and there were like killings going on there. It's kind of far away in my memory, but we know that Dario Argento is one of the genius of the horror genre, let's say. Now we have Elm Street Nightmare. What do you think? Should be a masterpiece or a classic? I'm gonna put it here in the classic. We have again Wes Craven with this famous killer Freddy Krueger. So I think I'm gonna keep it here. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but for sure it's a classic, guys, in my opinion. This one I love it. Hellraiser. I love this movie. I think it's a masterpiece. I don't know. I'm gonna put it in the classic line. Remember the Cenobites, these crazy entities that they were not able to differentiate between pain and pleasure. It was like a sadomasochism stuff there. The nails in the head. It's horrific. I have to watch it again, but yeah, Hellraiser, I love it. I don't know. Zero Cool. Not sure if I heard of that one, but I'm not a big horror movie guy. Which one you mean? The Suspiria or Hellraiser? For sure, you know Hellraiser. Hellraiser is awesome. And there were like 10 of them. All of them were bad, but the first one was really good. So Hellraiser, I love it. Now we have Friday the 13th. Jason Voorhees, one of the most famous killers in the cinema. Do you think it's going to be a masterpiece, or do you think it's going to be a classic? I think it's a classic. What was the name of that camp? The Crystal Camp? That was something, guys. Here we have Zero Cool. I remember watching Creepshow when I was a kid. That was the Tale of the Crypt. Tales of the Crypt? I don't know. I don't know what is Creepshow. Sounds like Criptex. Yeah. Crystal Lake. Yeah, you're right. USA Libertarian. Exactly. Crystal Lake. Do you think it's a classic or a masterpiece? USA or Zero Cool? What do you think about that? For sure, it's one of the most important characters or killers in the horror movie genre, let's say. Jason Voorhees, but I'm not sure it's gonna be a masterpiece. Okay, Zero Cool says it's a classic. Me too. I agree with you. I think it's first one classic. No, first one is masterpiece. Second one is classic. Ah, you mean the first one of that saga? Classic, yeah. I agree, 100%. This movie, I love it. I don't know if you know about this one. It's called The First Power. We have Lou Diamond Phillips there. He's a detective who is chasing a killer, and the killer he has like supernatural powers. And I don't know if you know about this. There are three powers. The first power is the resurrection power. The second one is the ability to enter into the body of another person. And the third power is, I think, is the invisibility, the ability to be invisible. So I love this movie. So at the end, he was able to catch the killer, but since the killer he had the first power, which is resurrection. So imagine, I, I just love that. I was a nerd of this movie. It's not a classic, it's not a masterpiece, but I just love it. Here we have again Rob Zombie, The House of the 10,000 Corpses. That's a really cool movie. As I told you guys, I love Rob Zombie. So this was like a house, like an, how can I say? The owner of the house, he created like an attraction house to have tourists, and it was about horror, but there were a lot of killings there. And anyway, it's here just because I love Rob Zombie. Now here we have the Rosemary Baby. To me, uh, it's a masterpiece. I'm gonna put it in the masterpiece category. We have Satanism there. This movie was made by Roman Polanski, if you remember well. And at the end, I think that her baby was like the baby of um, of the devil, let's say. Lucifer's Devil. It was a really good movie. It's a masterpiece, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it here, just next to Alien. Oh, we have Sub Rosa here. Happy to have you here. One of the good subscribers who is always giving me some slaps, but I love Sub Rosa. Sometimes you're right. So yeah, me too. I love Rob Zombie. Yeah, cool that you're here with me. Now we have Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock. We have this movie also in the previous tier list, which was about serial killers. I think it can be also considered as a horror movie. So I'm gonna put it here in the masterpiece category. I don't know what do you think about these guys, but anyways. This movie, guys, I don't know if you watch it. I love it. The name is Funny Games. I consider this movie as a masterpiece. The filmmaker is a German filmmaker. His name is Michael Haneke. There's a sequel that was made recently in Hollywood. I think it was with Naomi Watts. And the guy, I forgot his name anyways, but the original is really good. The filmmaker he's a genius, Michael Haneke. And there were just two killers killing just for fun. But the way the movie is done is really disturbing. And I think it's a masterpiece of this genre, let's say. So I'm gonna keep Funny Games in the masterpiece category. Now we have The Thing again. Is John Carpenter's. Sometimes I mix the filmmakers. This is awesome. This was in the Antarctic, if you remember well. I think Kurt Russell was the main actor in this movie. I watched it long time ago, but some people that love the horror movie genre, they consider the thing as the first one, as the best ever made. I don't. I'm not gonna go there, but I think yeah, for sure it's a masterpiece. So I'm gonna keep it here in the masterpiece, but not at the same level of Alien of the or the Rosemary's Baby, let's say. Twilight Zone, the movie. I didn't watch the movie. Was it good? I don't know. I don't know. I watched the TV show. I remember that, but I don't remember. I know that there was a movie, but I didn't watch it. So you tell me if it was good or not. I'm gonna I'm gonna put that movie in the to do list. Here we have Nosferatu, the original movie from 1922. I haven't watched it. Shame on me. The filmmaker was the German filmmaker Murnau. It is considered of maybe the most important movies about vampires, just because the research I made is gonna be here in the masterpiece category, but I have to accept that. Shame on me. I haven't watched it. So anyway. So Rosa says, Zero, that was a strange movie. I think one of the actors died on the set. Really? The Twilight Zone? How so? How did he die? I didn't know that. Anyway, it's definitely a to do. Which one? Nosferatu? I don't know. Now we have the Children of the Corn. I watched this movie when I was a child, and it was a little bit disturbing. I would say it's like a folk horror. Let's say it was like a cult, and the kids, the children, were killing adults, like to have like a good agriculture production. Let's say so. I have to watch it again. It's far away from my mind today. We have Jaws from Steven Spielberg. I think it's a masterpiece, or maybe a classic. No, it's gonna be a classic. Let's say one of the most singular killers, a shark. It was a very interesting movie. I'm not gonna say it's a masterpiece, but it's a classic. Hey, hello, Simdal, my friend. How are you? We have Simdal from Netherlands, uh, one of the usual suspects. So I'm happy to have you here, man. You're gonna help me with my tier list today, as usual. So Rosa, Vic Morrow died on set of the Twilight Zone movie. Was decapitated by a helicopter? No way. Really? I didn't know that. What the freak? Seriously? That's crazy. Wow. I didn't know that. I don't know, guys, if you watched this movie. It's called Let the Right One In. It's a Swedish movie about vampires. I love that movie. It's gonna be a masterpiece for sure in my list here. It's the best movie about vampires I watched. I think there was a remake in Hollywood as well, but this one was awesome. It's a Swedish movie. I have the book. I never read the book. I just bought the book because I love the movie. But for real, you have to watch this movie, guys. Let the Right One In, about vampires. Really, really good. Simdal just caused the death of entire shark population. Yeah, man, that was against ecology, let's say. Andy Warhol's Dracula. It was an Andy Warhol's movie, really? I remember the Bram Stoker. Hey, by the way, I didn't put Bram Stoker's one here, but Andy Warhol, he made a movie about Dracula. I didn't know. I'm learning with you guys. Thank you for this. So now we have the Exorcist. What do you say, guy? Exorcist is gonna be in the masterpiece line or in the classic line? Remember Linda Blair turning her head uh, 360 degrees? That was insane. What do you think? I'm gonna put it here in the classic line. Yeah, it's gonna be a classic. I'm not gonna say it's a masterpiece. Masterpiece? Really? Okay. So Simdal says The Exorcist is a masterpiece. So as usual, I'm gonna please our friend from the Orange Country, and it's gonna be here in the masterpiece line. Define the genre. I don't know how to pronounce that word, and I have to pronounce it a lot today. Genre. Yeah, I agree with you for sure. Is yeah. It's gonna be a masterpiece. I agree. So Rosa, yes, it is called Andy Warhol's Dracula. I didn't know that Andy Warhol made a movie about Dracula. Is it good? I didn't know that. Really? Wow, that's something. Now we have Carrie. What do you think about Carrie, guys? Remember, it was based on the book from Stephen King. This girl, she had like telekinesis powers. John Travolta was there. I think it's a classic of the genre. Genre. I need help with the pronunciation here, guys. I'm so bad with that word. Sorry for that. But you can teach me. So this is for sub. Sorry, for Zero Cool. He was talking about The Shining at the beginning of the streaming. For sure, we have Stanley Kubrick as the filmmaker, a genius. What can we say about Kubrick's one of the best? And of course, we have Jack Nicholson here. Another movie based on the Stephen King's book. So I think it's a masterpiece, right? Simdal Omen trilogy is not in the list, but I'm gonna add it right now. You're right. That was really scary. I had nightmares. Omen movie. Yeah, I think in Spanish we call it. We did a different translation, like The Prophecy or something like that. We had the tendency to change the names of the movies, the original names. So Omen, okay. I'm gonna add it right now for Simdal because you're right. We have to have that movie here for sure. So give me 1 second. And what do you think, Simdal? Is gonna be a classic or a masterpiece? What's your opinion about that? Let me know in the chat. Damien, yeah, Damien, exactly. In Spanish, it was called Damien, not Omen. So, Subrosa, thank you. It is pronounced like genre, by genre. No, come on, you're gonna kill me, guys, with that word. So, genre is pronounced like genre, by like genre. No, I cannot. I gave up. Sorry for that. Zero cool, but thank you, Subrosa, for teaching me. Creepshow is its own movie. It's also a to-do. Okay, I take note. It's all for you, Damien. Yeah, for sure. So, okay, Simdal says that Omen is a classic. So I'm gonna change the movie from a masterpiece to classic. Yeah, exactly. Good recommendation, Simdal. Thank you for that. We have here The Cube. I don't know, guys, if you remember this movie. It's really interesting It's a guy who wakes up inside a cube and he needs to escape. And every layer is like a trap. I think so was inspired by this movie by Cube. And also, I don't know if you watch the platform in Netflix. It's really similar to the Cube. It's very interesting. So yeah, it's a guy trying to escape from a cube, but every time is still trapped, again trapped. Is really cool. So, anyways, now we have the Return of the Living Dead. This one is, I think, it was in. This is not the original. This was a sequel, but I love this sequel. It's from 1985. It's the to me is my favorite movie about zombies. Maybe I was too young when I watched it, but it stayed in my mind, so I loved it. Zimdal says the cube ending was what made it special. No happy ending. Yeah, that movie was crazy. Huh? I watched it a couple of years ago, and I think I need to watch it again. It was really interesting. What about Poltergeist, guys? Poltergeist is gonna be a masterpiece or a classic? We have that supernatural stuff, ghosts. It was part of that horror saga of the 80s. I don't know, guys. What do you think? And there was a lot of accidents and a lot of tragedies in real life. A lot of actors that were in that movie died in mysterious circumstances. I don't know. I'm gonna put that movie as a classic here, guys. Poltergeist. Uh, Stendhal says Poltergeist childhood trauma. Yeah, I agree, 100%. Sub Rosa, I'm glad we can hang out and we don't have to argue about Delphi. Yeah, sometimes it's good to talk about different things. I agree, but we can talk about Delphi also if you want. I'm excited to check out some new scary movies now. Yeah, me too. Ah, by the way, there's gonna be a remake of Nosferatu. I think William Defoe is there. I don't know if it's already in the theaters or not, but for sure it's gonna be interesting. Now, this is a repeat. We have this movie in the serial killing movies we made last time, The Silence of the Lambs. I think it's also applicable as a horror movie. So, of course, it's a masterpiece, guys. What do you think? I'm gonna put it here in the masterpiece line. Now we have Sindel saying, "Have you seen Long Legs?" No. What is that? Long Legs. I don't know. Which is that one? I'm gonna do a quick search here in Google. It's a 2024 American horror thriller with Nicolas Cage. Ah, yeah, I didn't know about that. Is it good? New Nicolas Cage serial killer movie. Ah, okay. Another one for my to-do here, Simdal. Thank you for that. Did you enjoy it? It's good. Ah, okay, you said that you enjoy it. Okay. So Rosa, she loves William Defoe. Yeah, me too. He's awesome. You would enjoy it, I feel. Okay, I know you know my taste, so I'm gonna watch it for sure. It's in the theaters or is it already like in Netflix or Amazon? I don't know. So Rosa says Dusk Till Dawn. That was a Tarantino movie, no? Or the guy who worked with Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, I think, and George Clooney was there, I think. Yeah. Oh, Heather Swanson. Cape Fear, one of my favorite scary movies. Not sure if it qualified as a horror movie, but it was scary. Good movie too. Yeah, we had that movie in the serial killing tier list we did last week, I think. Yeah, Cape Fear is awesome with Robert De Niro. Juliette Lewis was there? I don't remember Juliette Lewis. I remember, of course, Robert De Niro was the killer, but Juliette Lewis, I don't remember Juliette Lewis there. Yeah, she was the daughter of the lawyer. I think you're right. Yeah, she was really young at that time. I love Juliette Lewis. I watched a concert of Juliette Lewis here in Canada. I love her voice, her energy. She's awesome. Now we have here the Neon Demon. I don't know, guys, if you watched this movie. It's from a Danish filmmaker. I love this guy. His name is Nicholas Winding Refn. He was the one. He's the filmmaker from Drive, and he's awesome. The aesthetics. He works with a lot of neon. Keanu Reeves was here in this movie. I just love this guy. So if you watch this movie, I don't know, it's not for everyone, but I just love this guy. He's the one who made Drive, the director or the filmmaker of Drive, with the Canadian actor. I forgot his name. Hate that. I have a lapsus. So Heather says, yeah, she's the daughter in the movie. Yeah, the daughter of the lawyer. Yeah, now I remember. And that scene in the ship at the end, that was freaking crazy. Yeah, for sure, Cape Fear is a classic. I agree. I agree. I put here also Thesis, Spaniard movie from Spain. I love it. In my opinion, the best movie about snuff. We talked about this movie in the previous tier list. I think it's much more better than 8 millimeters, the one with Nicolas Cage. So it's a good recommendation for you guys. You're gonna enjoy this movie, Thesis. The filmmaker is Alejandro Amenábar. He went to Hollywood after this movie. He made The Others with what's the name of Nicole Kidman? Yeah, a very good movie. Also, he's a great filmmaker. So we have here Thesis, and of course we have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think it's gonna be a classic. What do you think, guys? You remember it was kind of based on the Ed Gein serial killer. So I'm gonna put that movie here in the classic line. So I don't have more movies here for sure. I missed a lot of them. So maybe we can do a part 2 in the future. Let me know, guys, in the comments if you agree with the ranking, or if we should change one movie from one line to another line. Next time we're gonna do a ranking about the worst horror movies ever. I want to do something about science fiction as well, and yeah. Okay, we have Shay Watson here. They are coming to get you, Barbara. Yeah, exactly. What do you think, guys? It was a good tier list, or what is missing here? For sure, I know there's a lot of things missing here. Like right now, I'm thinking about the what's the name of this movie? Like in the forest, the guys they had like the camera. What's the name? Fuck, I forgot. I have another lapsus here. Sorry, guys, I'm old. But yeah, the Blair Witch Project, I think. Yeah, the Blair Witch Project. Yeah, thank you, Simdal. What would I do without you, man? Yeah, that one it was really interesting. Huh? I think we should include that movie here. I don't know. So I think the tier list is over for today. We can talk about the case if you want, about Delphi. What are your feelings, or do you have any questions, or do you have any comments about what happened last week? We have a verdict. Zero cool. Go into the light or don't go into the light. What what is that one? I don't know. Yeah, I know I'm missing a lot of movies here, guys. This was just a first attempt, let's say. You are going to drop Zodiac video when? I think it's gonna be tomorrow. I have to do a couple of editing, let's say. You know, it takes time when you have to edit, but I'm not gonna do like a very professional video, let's say. Just something to make my point there. Why do I think that uh, the Delphi killer was potentially inspired by the Zodiac? I know there are gonna be a lot of trolls saying Criptex is using the tragedy to make videos or something like that. But when I was watching this week the Zodiac, this is the Zodiac speaking. So a lot of things came to my mind that were really similar to the Delphi murder case. So yep, I'm gonna do another video about Delphi. I don't know if I'm gonna continue making content about Delphi. That would be maybe the last one. I don't know. And maybe if there are some developments in the future, yeah, for sure, I'm gonna do something. Like an appeal or something like that, or new discoveries, or an interview with Elvis Fields. Maybe I'm gonna interview Elvis Fields here. No, I'm just kidding, but why not? Subrosa, I think the scariest video I ever seen is George Torre in the suitcase. Sarah Boone is like, for everything you have done to me, it's bone chilling. I don't know about that, Subrosa. I have to educate myself. What next tier list? I think it's gonna be about science fiction. I think, but I take note about your recommendations. USA, organized crime, heist, bank robbers. Yeah, why not? Simdal, reality is truly scary at times. Yep. Shay Watson, they are here. Simdal, I wonder if Delphi will get a movie. Enough material there. At least a great documentary for sure. And I hope someday we're gonna be able to watch the interrogatory made by Holman and Mullin to Richard Allen. I really think it's really interesting to watch that happen there, to have a better opinion about the verdict, let's say. Also, the images of Richard Allen in the Westville correctional facility. I would like to watch that. We don't know if in the future he's gonna be able to do some type of interview. Give me just 1 second, guys. I'm gonna close the door here. Sorry. So yeah, I think it's really interesting to know to watch that material, the interview made to Richard Allen by Holman, the images or the videos of Richard Allen in that institute, in that correctional facility, Westville. Imagine if Richard Allen is gonna do some type of interview in the future. Why not? I think there's a lot of questions that are not solved. I know, I don't know, but I think that there are other actors involved. I think the clients are involved. So I don't know. At least a documentary is gonna be made. A movie, maybe, but that's gonna take years, I think. Let's see. Zero Cool. Please don't let people discourage you from making more Delphi content. Okay, if you think it's still relevant, thank you for the motivation. Why not? I'm gonna think about that. Day Tripper. Hello, Criptex and chat. Hello, Day Tripper. Thank you for being here. Shane Watson. Delphi would be the scariest horror movie ever made. Yeah, for sure, it's gonna be really scary. And I know that we cannot compare tragedies, but I think the most or the scariest thing I learned about was that Chadwell situation. He was in a basement with a 9 years old girl. He had his pit bull attacking the girl. He was strangling the girl there. Of course, every tragedy is horrible, and at least that girl survived. But I'm just trying to imagine that scene. Chadwell with a pit bull attacking a 9 years old girl in a basement. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? At least in some kind of way, Abby and Livy, they were together. I don't know. I know it's horrible, but there was like some type of hope, let's say. But this little girl, oh, anyway. Day Tripper, did I miss the movie segment? Yeah, you missed it, but you can, of course, watch the replay and give me some recommendations in the comment section for the new or for the next tier list. Shay Watson, it's like Wickerman. So Rosa, yeah, man, definitely make more Delphi content. Did you watch the last chat or the last conversation or the last show I did with Hoosier Cold Cases? It was really good. It's really cool. So you can replay that video. He has a lot of interesting points in his mind, and I think he deleted all his content about Delphi. I don't know why. I have to ask him. Maybe Delphi is over for him right now. I don't know. So Rosa, Delphi is gonna be a crazy movie. Yeah. Heather, the story of Delphi is absolutely a horror movie in the making. Yeah. Simdal, they could flesh out all the law enforcement mistakes, the paranoia in a small town, YouTubers, etc. Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of material to do a great movie, but I don't know if it's gonna be like a horror movie or like a movie based on real events. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't think Richard Allen will ever speak. I don't know. Some killers, they want, if let's say if he was actually the killer and the only one, which I doubt, um, sometimes the killers wants to have some type of recognition, about the crimes they made and some type of popularity. I don't know. So they like to speak at one point. I don't know, but maybe you're right. Maybe he's never gonna speak. Let's see. Lots of killers denied it till their death. Through their death, I mean, yeah. Sindal says that Nicolas Cage movie is playing. Okay, I'm gonna watch it. I'm very interesting for sure. I'm gonna. What's the name again? Longless. Okay. Ooh, we have Fair Maiden Wins. Uh, a loyal, uh, a loyal subscriber. Thank you, man, for being here. I'm happy to have you here. Subrosa, like have subplots with Keegan Klein catfishing and Odinist in the forest and the Chadwell scene terrifying. Yeah, imagine that. Simdal about ferreting out. Uh, Explain me the joke because I didn't understand the joke. Simdal is laughing. Ah, yes, you're right, Shay. I missed Midsummer. Midsummer is a really good movie, and yeah, I I was planning to have it here. I forgot about it. Yeah, I love the Midsummer, and you're right. There are a couple of similarities to Delphi, especially when yeah, when we think about the Odinism stuff and things like that. Yeah, a lot of elements from Midsummer. Heather, Shadwell reminds me of the movie Lovely Bones. What was that one? Let me check here. Lovely Bones. I didn't watch that movie. It's from 2009. I don't know. Why do you say that, Heather? It was something like that? A killing in the basement or something like that? I don't know. Uh, Shay, Watson slow movie. Great. Hmm. Say again. Yeah, but that's what makes it so good. Yeah, the fact that it's slow doesn't mean it's bad. Sometimes you need to have that pace, slow pace, like to have like an increscendo stress factor or creep factor, as you said here. I agree, for sure. USA libertarian. He already confessed when it hurt him. Not sure why he wouldn't soon or later. You mean Richard Allen? I just think there are other people involved. Uh, I don't think he was the only one here, and yeah, I don't know if we're gonna ever know the whole story. So I don't know. Sub Rosa, I think Richard Allen's family don't want him to confess. They want to believe that he's innocent. Cognitive dissonance. It's a possibility, yeah, but I don't know. Uh, Remember, just the crime scene is so weird, and how is it possible that, as Steve from True Crime Web was telling us, how is it possible that there were no defensive wounds, defensive injuries? That's crazy. That's something that makes you think about multiple killers, about multiple perpetrators, and not only that, you have different type of injuries. Uh, you have I don't know. The crime scene is really weird, and we had sticks over a pool of blood. What does it mean? Why is that? I don't know. It's a lot of questions that sadly we didn't have an answer during the process, and I don't know if we are gonna have any type of answer in the future. Is really crazy, and I still don't buy necessarily that the earphone connection was humidity related. I I think we need more material to be able to conclude that that was the case. I don't know. Day Tripper. I'm leaning that way as well about his family and the confessions. Yeah, it's a possibility. Maybe he no, and my theory is that he was involved, but I think there are other actors here, and my hypothesis is, declines. At least Keegan is serving 43 years in prison. He's paying for what he did. But what about Tony Klein? He's uh, he's living the la vida loca. Heather, the neighbor kidnaps a little girl, and keeps her in her basement and kills her. Oh, yeah, this is a chat. Well, that's okay. I'm gonna watch that movie. Thank you, guys. You're giving me a lot of good recommendations tonight, so I'm gonna check on it. USA, he still did it anyway, and his family thinks they were messing with his mind, which they literally were. Yeah, but imagine if your husband or your wife is a serial killer or is a killer. It's not gonna be easy for you to believe that your partner is actually a killer. You're gonna try to, I don't know, you're gonna be biased by default, no? Uh, I think it's normal. Even if Richard Allen was the killer and the only one here, I think it's normal that the family is thinking, no, you're not. They are messing with you because it's hard to process that in your mind. I don't know. And let's continue. The tripper. I still believe the clients are involved, likely. For sure. I just don't buy that the Richard Allen arrest was not a direct consequence of the interrogatory of Keegan Klein in the Grissom Air Force Base. It's too coincidental. And when we talk about circumstantial evidence, I see more circumstantial evidence in the Klein side than in the Richard Allen side. And I believe Richard Allen is involved. But to me, the clients, they have to be involved. And that confession that Keegan made at the Grissom Air Force Base, to me, is something I believe it was true. Shay, my issue with the Delphi case is very black and white. No matter if he did it or didn't, he was denied due process. I agree, 100%. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't know if I know that they are going to appeal. Now it's gonna be a successful appeal. That's the question. I don't know. To me, this case is like the Stephen Avery case. It's very similar. So let's see if a successful appeal is gonna happen. It's something to think about it. Simdal, they tripper same. I think they arrange it somehow. Yeah, me too. The clients and Allen. Subrosa, I think there's a true story where a guy is setting up a baby monitor and picks up the video of one of his neighbors where they've got a little boy locked in a dungeon with a baby monitor. I don't know. Shay, I would feel better about the verdict either way it went if it was reached through the constitutional exercise of due process. There's a reason we have it. Yeah, no, and clearly the way he was treated in that correctional facility in Westville, regardless if he was innocent or guilty, I don't understand how things like that can happen in US. It's unacceptable. He was just in the process of being how can I say? Yeah, the process was just still going. He was not convicted at that time, so I don't understand. Simdal, an appeal is needed to achieve justice. I agree. So, Rosa, if Richard Allen had help from the clients, maybe they threatened his family if he were to confess. No, I don't think that was the case. I think if Richard Allen was involved, he was not interested in confessing about the clients, because if he rat on the clients, he's gonna admit his own culpability. So I don't think it's because some kind of threat, let's say. It's just because it was a stupid move from his side. I don't know if you understand what I mean. He couldn't talk about the clients, but because if he did that, he would accept his own culpability, let's say. Sub Rosa. Appeals are almost never successful. Sorry, I lost your comment. I think that the most they could hope for is a mistrial. And I think Rick would be found guilty again, my opinion. Yeah, I know. Have you discussed 8 millimeters with Nicolas Cage? No, because I have here Thesis, right? And to me, Thesis is the best movie ever made about snuff. Much better than 8 millimeters. So that's why I put just Thesis here and not 8 millimeters. But in the previous tier list about serial killings, I talked about 8 millimeters. Farmaiden wins. Day tripper. Trip on this. Look at Cheyenne's left underside peak of the bridge. It's like she's just holding camera down with her left hand. Zoom in, almost center of peak. I don't know what was the thing with Cheyenne. Simdal. The third party theory is to be considered by a jury at the very least. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I know they were talking about a nexus. They were not able to prove a nexus or something like that, but at least if they had the opportunity to present that theories, we would be able to know more about the whole story, the whole picture here. But yeah, there's a lot of holes, a lot of information that I don't know if we're gonna be able to know one day. Shay Watson, I've been in those shoes, accused of something extreme and completely denied all due process. Your hands are tied. You have no voice, especially if innocent. You need to be able to prove your case. Yeah, and one thing I would say is don't talk to the cops. Just don't talk to a cop. Call your lawyer. This is a lesson learned here. Those people are dirty, and they're gonna, you know. Anyway, Simdal in the spirit of fairness. So, Brosa, I just don't have sympathy for Richard Allen. I have sympathy for the families of the victims. Yeah, and when you talk about sympathy, that's a good point. And I remember the Rolling Stones famous song "Sympathy for the Devil." That could apply to Richard Allen, but it's not his fault. I think it's the fault of law enforcement because of the due process that was not uh, properly conducted, because all the mistakes of that the law enforcement made during the investigation, because there are a lot of questions that they are not resolved yet. So yes, a lot of people they have sympathy for Richard Allen, even if he's the killer. They have doubts. They don't know a lot of things, and I think the the problem was law enforcement, not Richard Allen or the pro Allen side of this community. Let's say it's just it is what it is anyway. Day Tripper, Thesis. Never seen that one. I will look for it. Yeah, it's very good. It's from Spain. The filmmaker is Alejandro Menabar. He's the one who made The Others with Nicole Kidman. It's very good. The Nexus is Kelsey's DNA. Look, this is a good point. What does it mean? Maybe nothing, maybe something. I don't know. This is a very sensitive topic, but it's part of the investigation. They never care to perform the match of that hair. And that now that we were talking about the Zodiac killer, the hair in one of the hands of the victims, that's something I'm gonna talk about in the next video. That's why I'm telling you guys that there are a lot of similarities between the Zodiac and the Delphi murders, but that's gonna be this weekend. So Rosa, I think that's fair that the third party thing can be looked over by the Indiana Supreme Court. I think that you have to prove a connection in general, and I think they failed to prove it. But yeah, one of the things is if it was like a main point of this investigation were the confessions of Richard Allen. If we have Keegan Klein confessing at the Grissom Air Force Base, and if we have Keegan Klein communicating with Libby, just he was the last person that had contact with Libby. I think at least the clients that should be considered as a nexus. You can say that the Elvis Fields connection is a far-fetched nexus, let's say, but the clients to me is a direct connection. How can we say that there's no nexus there? I I'm not a legal person. I don't know too much about law, but the common sense tells me that the nexus is there. You have a person that was catfishing Libby. You have this person making a confession in that Air Force base. You have the arrest of Richard Allen right after that confession, and, and there's no nexus. Seriously, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Um, I don't know, guys. What do you think about that? If the prosecutor hadn't hidden the van info nexus for Brad Weber, good point. That van thing is a main element here too. It seems that the client connection is valid though. Yeah, I think so. I think the client connection is valid. Sub Rosa, sympathy for the devil. He's got a demon in his heart, in my opinion. Yeah, but if there are other demons, do you think this is full justice? You have one demon in prison, and what about the other demons? I think that's the problem. At least for me, that's the problem. I don't think all of the actors here were fully investigated, at least. And anyway, just my feeling. I'm no one here, but it's just my feeling. USA. Brad Weber's gun was not excluded. That's right. So the only difference is Richard Allen volunteered and didn't lie about his alibi, and we don't have Brad Weber in solitary confinement for 13 months to see if he would confess. I agree. The main problem for Richard Allen was that he never gave a valid alibi, and also his cell phone was never found as well. So to me, that indicates that he was really involved in this case, and he was likely bridge guy. That plus the whole timeline, let's say. But yeah, I think there are other actors. Shay Watson, the only hope for a successful appeal is if the appellate judges actually read the Frank's memorandum completely to understand the situation and extent of the judge's bias. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Let's wait. When you put the investigation in a timeline, it doesn't jive in that sense. It's problematic for sure. The Tripper. I think the evidence against him was overshadowed by the shadiness of the investigation and trial. I agree. People are having a hard time seeing the things that make him look guilty because all the shenanigans pulled by the court made him look innocent, in my opinion. Crimson Clover. Hello. Does anyone know Wallace's handle now on YouTube? Someone said it was Piggy. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. I hope she's not in YouTube anymore for real. I hope. So, Brosa, I believe the defense team purposely leaked the photos, and I think they brought any bias upon themselves. I don't know. Could be. Shay. Something not working here. Okay. My judge was exactly like her. What was your case, Shay? Why were you in a process? What was your case exactly? Maybe we can cover your case here in the channel. Maybe we can do like an interview with you. It's interesting to know what happened to you. The fact was the entire thing was fabricated. I was not even in the state, and my son was not with me. It couldn't happen. I never got the chance to say that. Yeah, that's bad. Kelly. Sorry, Kelly. Okay, Kelly. Apparently, the FBI task force was in Delphi 10 to 12, watching the groups of militia on Ron Logan's property. Interesting. USA, they clearly didn't leak the pictures on purpose. That's why they charged the leaker with a crime. They dropped it because they never really cared if they couldn't use it to sabotage the defense. Yeah, the guy is, I don't know if still in prison or what, but he paid for what he did with the pictures. I'm sorry that happened to you, Shay. Oh, we have our good friend who share cold cases. How are you, man? Happy to have you here. How are you not watching the fight, brother? You mean Tyson versus Paul? That's a joke, man. That's a joke. Tell me about that. It's already a knockout by Tyson? I don't know. Unknown male DNA on the girl or both? Okay, Shay. Day tripper, you just never come back from that. Yeah, I will die alone, and my legacy will be a lie. You can send me an email, Shay. You're gonna have my email in the description of the channel. We can talk about that in a future video if you're interested. UFC fight is tonight. Who's your Barrios and Ramos are fighting right now? Interesting. I'm not into UFC. I like boxing, but real fights, guys. Not this joke. Sorry. I just think it's a circus. Jake Paul versus Tyson, but whatever. Just my stupid opinion. So, guys, I think it's gonna be all for today. Thank you for helping me with the tier list. Maybe I'm gonna do one about science fiction tomorrow or after tomorrow, and at the same time we can talk about the case as we did today. Thank you so much to you guys. Please hit the like, share the video, subscribe, become a member if you want, and that's it. Thank you for everything. It was really cool to talk to you guys. So keep in touch. Thank you, Hoosier too. Simdal, USA, Sub Rosa, Zero Cool, Shay, all of you guys. Thank you so much. Day Tripper. See you tomorrow or after tomorrow.